Diane and Robin.
All right, our thanks to Jake. And back here at home, we turn to this mounting confusion, continuing outrage over those new recommendations on mammograms. As you know, an independent medical panel said most women under 50 do not need them, and after 50, every other year is sufficient. But doctors, leading hospitals across the country have reacted, including the Mayo Clinic, and are now lining up against those new recommendations, telling patients to ignore them. ABC's John McKenzie leads us off with the latest this morning.
Thank you for calling your American Cancer Society.
Calls from across the country poured into this cancer hotline. Women anxious and confused about when to get a mammogram.
Cancer Society is not changing its screening recommendations.
The new, more relaxed screening guidelines come from some of the most respected authorities in the country. But it's clear many women are just not buying it.
I get it every year, and the guidelines probably won't change it.
And if you go every year, you have more of a chance of surviving.
But the guidelines, the so-called expert panel, said every other year is good enough.
I don't think they know enough to really be definitive about that now.
Even many doctors are suspicious of the new guidelines, questioning the motive.
I think it's totally ridiculous. I may not be politically correct, but I think this is really about money and politics. It's about the beginning of rationing care, and I don't think it's really about the health of individual women.
Many doctors are actively discouraging women from following the new recommendations.
I'm telling you, this study is absolutely ludicrous. They need to start getting mammograms at age 40. Mammograms pick up breast cancers when they're smaller. They pick up breast cancers when they need less treatment.
But the damage may have already been done. Dr. Susan Boble told us that after the news broke, she saw more than double the typical number of cancellations for an average day.
This will set breast cancer back about 30 years. For women who really do not want to get their mammograms, this is an easy out for them. If we can save one woman's life by having a mammogram, isn't that worth it?
Doctors emphasize these new guidelines are recommendations, not rules, that it's still up to each woman to decide when and how often to be screened for breast cancer. Diane, Robin?
No, still also concerned about the insurance implications and so much more than that. Thank you, John, very much. For more, we're going to turn to our chief medical editor, Dr. Tim Johnson, who joins us live in Boston. And you just saw John McKenzie's report. Such an uprising, not just with the public, but within the medical community. Have you ever seen anything like this, Tim?
Well, not really, Robin, even accounting for the 24/7 media world that intensifies everything. This is quite unique in my experience. And the truth is many doctors, maybe most doctors, are caught just as much by surprise as the general public because they're not a part of these deliberations. They hear about the recommendation when it comes out. And remember also that many of their own professional societies, like the American College of Obstetricians and Gynecology, have different recommendations than this new panel. So they're caught in between various organizations. So there's a lot of confusion among doctors and makes it very difficult for them to deal with their own patients, obviously.
It certainly does. And what are your recommendations, Tim?
Well, mammography is not perfect. We have to acknowledge that. It has too many false positives that lead to too many biopsies and even treatments that are unnecessary. But it's the best we have right now. So I say women should continue with the current guidelines, starting at 40 every year or two, yearly at 50, until these organizations get together and sort it out. Remember, there are very good organizations, like the American Cancer Society, that differ with this new panel. I say get them all together, have a public, open discussion, and come up with some consensus that we can all live with. That's what we need.
Yeah, absolutely. But, Tim, you heard in John McKenzie's report the gentleman who said this is about politics and money, in his opinion, and it's not about the individual health of the woman. And there are many people, many survivors, who share that same opinion.
I talked to an expert yesterday that I think is well informed about this process as anybody. He knows all the panel people. He knows what went on. He says there was no politics, no cost-cutting in here. It was strictly wrestling with the medical data. He thinks they made a mistake, but he said this wasn't political. And I believe him.
You believe him. All right, Tim. Well, we're going to have you back in our 8 o'clock half hour, so thank you so much. And so later, Dr. Tim, the rest of our ABC medical team will answer more of your concerns and questions on this highly charged subject. It was hard to go anywhere yesterday without people talking about this.
Couldn't believe that everything had been upended in one day.
Again, we'll talk about it more in our 8 o'clock half hour, but Chris Cuomo's